Hello and welcome, luminous beings of light. Thank you for joining me here at the SoulFire Alchemist. I'm your host, Dr. Beth. So I came to you today to talk to you a little bit about the elements and how you can work with the elements and the forces of nature to move heavy, less than beneficial energy that's not working in your life. Anytime we're going through pain and suffering, we reach challenge in our lives and a point where we can't contain the energy, or it's just no good for us anymore because it's starting to poison our very being. We must have ways to move it and not get stuck. So this is one of the things that we deal with quite often is getting stuck. The energy, the quality of the emotion, right? The heaviness of it, it gets stuck in our body. It gets stuck in our mind. And we have to have ways to move that. Now, my aim is to work with people in a holistic way, as with all of the elements that I combine to form what we call SoulFire Alchemy. So it's to that end that we're going to be taking a look at that today and just discover a couple of ways that you can work with some of these energies and start employing them to help you move some of this energy that you might be working with. Now, today is one of the biggest conjunctions of our time, certainly in my time, because this is my Jupiter return. For those of you familiar with astrology, you know that you have a Jupiter return once every 12 years. Jupiter's a benefic. He usually brings to you beautiful and divine things in life that are really good. And it's the planet of expansion. It's the planet of spirituality. It's the planet of travel. And higher learning and education. And certainly I am doing both of those right now, which brings me to something else I wanted to talk to you about before we go into talking about the elements and how you can work with them for your own healing. And that is that SoulFire Alchemy Academy is formally going to be launching in the fall. We'll be on a trimester system, and each semester will be 11 weeks with a break about every 5 weeks. And this is going to enable for a lot of holiday time and just time in between. Now, we are a school of sacred arts. However, any class that you take, for example, we have coming up on May 19th, 2024, you're welcome to register for this now. Please go check it out. I'll put a link below. You can register for our master class that we have coming up. Now, I was referring to this as a shamanic master class, but the truth is you can't master shamanism in one class, nor would you be able almost to do it in one lifetime. This is a mastery that we all work towards attaining. Now, for those people who are serious about their studies, I invite you to come to this class. It is a prerequisite to get into any of the courses that we offer at SoulFire Alchemy Academy. And it is a self-mastery class, and I call it the SoulFire Shamanic Self-Mastery class, okay? So we're doing a lot of different things in this class. It's a long class. It's a full day retreat, all right? So we go from 10 in the morning to around 7:30 in the evening, and we wrap it up with a fire ceremony, and we use the elements. So a lot of what I'm talking about today is what we do in real time in this class, okay? Again, May 19th. So put it on your calendar, see if you're going to be available, and sign up and come join us if you are. This is very powerful. It's very life-shifting stuff, highly transformational. All the work that I do is, and the only key is you have to be serious about what it is that you're doing. Okay. That is the one requirement, is that you are a serious student of ancient wisdom. Oh, well, first, you really have to become a serious student, and being able to move through your own trauma in life and learn how to process it and deal with it properly. Now, if you're a highly spiritual person and you're somebody that resonates with the earth, and you love being out in nature, you love looking at symbology behind astrology, you love looking at numerology, right? All of these things. These things are items that we look at and we pull it in. The reason I call it alchemy is because you're actually, I'm giving to you and helping you learn, study, and integrate and let it become part of yourself, the knowledge and tools and skills that I've acquired over the years, which has become wisdom as it's been applied to myself. And that's truly what this process is about. One who is looking for that wisdom in life and who really wants to better themselves and become healed from the things, the patterns, the thought processes, the indoctrination, we could call it, programming patterns, things like that, that just are causing perhaps havoc in your life. When we have people like yourself, hopefully, who are looking to figure out how to really move through that, and you're looking for a system, well, that's part of what I help to provide, or to teach you these tools and systems that I have learned that can work beautifully together. Now, hypnosis and neurolinguistics programming is part of that, so beyond quantum healing. And we learn to take that and put it in with the shamanic guided journey. So meditation, shamanic hypnosis, that's all part of this retreat that we offer. I'm working with the Earth Mandala Magic and Medicine, and I've got a video on this channel as well for that I did back, I think, in March of last year, right after my father passed away. So that was all something that this whole entire ministry and the academy idea has been around for a long time, because I am a teacher, but the whole ministry and the juice behind that, if you will, it has been born from some trauma that I had to endure last year. And most of you watching this channel know that I had a near-death experience 11 years ago. And I've just had to go through a lot of healing, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, healing old wounds and patterns that it set up from my childhood. So this is my endeavor. My goal is to help you move through that, help you learn to where you're really understanding who you are on a really deep level. And we do that by studying these sacred mysteries, these ancient wisdoms, right? They knew what was going on much more than we do so in modern times. A lot of it's been lost to us. So I invite you to come out for that. And like I said, click the link below and sign up for the newsletter. I really intend to be putting out a lot more in the way of announcements and how you can get signed up. So if you come out to take the SoulFire Self-Mastery class, it's a full-day retreat coming up in May, that would apply towards your credits. So we offer associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, master of arts, and also doctoral degrees. Now, these will be in things, areas of concentration that you get to pick: energy medicine, right? Shamanism, sacred symbology and numerology, right? We do also offer as a ministry, a church ministry, we offer ordinations, and those paths are part of that. So I'm looking to perhaps teach Reiki levels 1, 2, and 3, and the master level, and teach Crystal Reiki Master, and allow that to become part of, right, the undergraduate program degrees that's going to take you through true mastery of energy medicine. And it's not just Reiki, right? There's different paths to understanding energy and how it works and how to move it. There's different paths to really understanding the path of the magician and the shaman, right? The sage, the wise one who is the keeper of the knowledge and knows how to disperse it properly to people who are the right students. And so that's who we're looking for. And so if you feel yourself being drawn to that, I want to invite you. I also want to let you know that I'm helping James Burgess. We're working in a group together, right? So there, right now we have our inner teachers, our inner circle, and we are really taking forth his idea of the Elven Mystery School. Now, you can learn more about him at his website, jamesburgess.com, but you can also go to his YouTube channel. It's called Sabian Alchemy. I'll put a link below. You can go check that out as well. But he and I are working on collaborating together to bring to you in September a course in the Elven Mystery School, but this one's going to be about Elven Star magic, the 7 dimensions of magic, and revealing the transformational mysteries of the Elven Star. Now, those of you who know sacred geometry might understand the Elven Star. It's a 7-pointed star. It's one of the stars that you can draw without picking your pen up off the paper, right? But it's such deep inner working that I really don't even have time to go into it much more in detail than to say, really look into it if it sounds like something that would interest you. It's a study into itself and could be, and that is why it's a college into itself, truly. So I've been very blessed and honored to be a part of this and to bring it through for you. So those of you who are interested, certainly check it out, okay? Now, getting into how you can take these elements and use them. All right. So you guys are interested, or not interested, but those of you who are here, I'm going to make the assumption that because you're here, you know what the basic elements are. So earth, air, fire, and water. We also look at what we call the fifth element, which is ether, which would be akin to oneness, great mystery, right? The cosmos, God, Allah, right? Whatever word, Buddha, whatever word you like to use, higher self, doesn't matter. Labels really doesn't matter. It's that we understand that we're talking about something that's far beyond duality, right? This is a place where I went when I had my near-death experience 11 years ago. So that would be what we would consider the ether. Okay. Quick educational bit for you today. Earth, you're familiar with. We have Uranus conjuncting Jupiter and Taurus right now. Taurus is the earth. It represents earth. It would be an earth energy in the zodiac. Okay. So you're learning right now a bit of shamanic astrology, which is also SoulFire alchemy. Earth, right? Air, when the wind blows, the weather, right? Those elements. When you light your sage or your incense and it provides a smoke, that is air. Of course, when you light a fire or a candle, fireplace, you're working with the flame, the sacred flame. You're working with the element of fire. And of course, water, when you're taking a shower, when you're sitting by the creek, when you're immersed in water somehow, you are working with the element of water. Now, if you are studying other walks, other cultural backgrounds, for example, Chinese medicine, you also have the elements of metal and wood. So there you have the 11th star: earth, air, fire, water, metal, wood, ether. So these are things that you can bring so deep, right? So it's like a fractal universe, and they go in many different directions. It's multidimensional. They're dimensionless. On this earthbound plane, we only know, just a few dimensions, 3. And many people, quite honestly, sometimes get stuck in a 2-dimensional thought process. Well, we won't go there for today. But right now, we're just wanting to talk about the elements, right? And each one of these elements, as you get into courses of study like astrology and even numerology, and the more that you look at this stuff, and there are ways that you can look at hypnosis and the way the subconscious mind works and how that works in relationship to the emotional body. Also, the emotion and the mental body, the mind, right? Mercury, right? And then earth, you've got the earth and the planets that represent earth. Each one of these planets in the zodiac, as well as the zodiac signs themselves, and each of the houses are mapped to an elemental energy. So when you start studying, you have to take some things in their most simple and simplistic form and then expand on it, right? Or drill down and get to the details later. But you want to start with something that's easy to understand. So if we're starting by studying the earth element, we can acknowledge all of the other ones. But if we want to work with earth energy, what would those things include? Right? So in consideration of that, then you think about things that are like the rocks and the stones, crystals, perhaps even, of course. But that gets into deeper stuff. We'll reserve that for later because, again, deeper studies, you guys. Trees and plants, the soil, right? Things that come from the earth. You're partly an earth element, but you contain all of the elements. You're made up of all these things. So you can take one of those parts. So flowers, grass, right? Sticks, stones. These seem so simple, and they are. We overcomplicate things. But when you're looking at earth mandala magic and medicine, for example, my course that I have online, which is also that's completely comes free to you when you join the masterclass, you are learning in effect how to work with these earth energies, how to create an earth mandala, how to let the earth work with the energy, hold the energy, transform it for you. It gives you a place to blow the energy. So, for example, you can go out if you're out in nature and pick up some stones and pick up some good hardy sticks that are heavy, right? And they can be smaller, but it depends on the magnitude of energy that you're working with. Now, in shamanism, we always stay in a state of gratitude for whatever we're doing. So we don't just walk around and just randomly start grabbing things. Even the earth and all of her, even the things that look like they're dead, I don't care if it's fallen leaves and they're getting ready to die and be mulched back into the earth in the winter, they still have their own essential part of their being. So it is to that in everything that exists that we give our gratitude to, because when we do that, we're giving gratitude to ourselves. And self-love practices are a huge part of this process, which you also learn more about in the school. So in going through SoulFire Alchemy Academy, you are learning, you're not only earning, you're earning and you're learning. You're earning a degree for the things that you're learning, because you're going to hopefully take that out into the world and use it somehow if you're interested. And there's many different ways that you can do that, through ministry, through teaching, through healing. And healing can look like anything, even being on a stage. Okay. It can just be being a better mom or dad, a better friend, a better person for yourself. So we can look at all these separate elements and how we can use them, right? But that's one example for Earth. And I'm just going to give you one for now. There are so many others, though. So you can, when you're outside, pick up a stone and blow the heavy energy into it. Think of it, right? Think of whatever it is that's bothering you. It shouldn't be hard if it's bothering you. It's right there. It's fresh. It's raw. And through the breath, which is our spirit, we transform it by blowing it into the stone and letting the stone hold it, making sure that we feel that it's the right fit. Hey, stone, thank you for existing, man. You're awesome. Yeah, I know. And you feel it. You get a feel for its energy. Thank you. And we always approach these things with gratitude. Blow the energy into the stone 3 times. And you do it with lots of fervor, because you want to move the energy. You don't want it sitting there. So let's say that, well, here we go. This is my show and tell time. This is my Moldavite, and it's got a Herkimer diamond on top. So if this is my stone and I'm blowing the energy into it that I'm wanting it to hold for me on my behalf, you can take a longer time with it than that, but you want those breaths to count and to get as much of the energy. You can certainly go do more than 3 breaths, but 3 is a magic number. We'll just put it that way. But it is a revered number, and a one that people love, because it has a frequency of healing, and that it's the frequency itself of gratitude in so many ways. And it brings awareness. It brings the light of conscious awareness to what we're doing, to be in gratitude on a level that is so subtle and nuanced, it's hard to understand until you've been studying these things for a while. And then you have epiphany moments. Aha. So quickly, we're going to move on to air. So again, like I brought up with the incense. So if you're lighting an incense, or you're lighting some sort of a clearing herb, sage, rosemary, sweetgrass. You could be cooking and you're watching the steam go up. You could be outside feeling the energy in the wind. Air is very mental. It helps to clear the mind. So when you're working with an air energy, you're helping it to clear the mind by letting it bring focus, Sometimes, though, you need a complete clearance first. And with your intention and your breath, you can take that breath in and allow it to clear your mind as though you're getting ready to enter meditation. And then allow that stillness to fill up your body, your mind, your heart. Again, we're in gratitude to the element of air itself, right? And it can fill us with a spirit of awareness and stillness, which within and of itself is very powerful and necessary, just like all of these elements. Where it's oneness, it's great mystery, it's Christ consciousness, it's suspended animation, it's the a priori. Okay, it's the center. There's much that can be said about this, right? It's so interesting when you really get in and begin studying these things. It's like a circle, right? A sphere, even if you will, whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. I leave you with this. Where did you come from, baby dear? Out of everywhere into here. All right, so today we have our study on the elements, just basic stuff. I've given you some bits that honestly, what I've given you is profound, that if you use it, I know for me, it's in transformational, you really can transform your life. But when you really get on these paths of the mysteries, right, the mystery schools, as it were, ancient wisdom, sacred arts, sacred medicine, you're really onto something. And it depends upon how your perception is when it comes to looking at things as sacred, right? And this requires your imagination and your creativity and faith in what you know to be true. But also there's evidence to back that up, because through our experience, we can measure our own course of decision and action and commitment and focus, awareness, intention, our consciousness, our breath, our attention. That puts us onto a path that's one of soul, that's one of true magic, where you can just manifest what you would like. And hopefully, well, we all, want to manifest a peaceful world. And we've heard that said so many times. It's a cliche. Sad. But the path of life itself, it's sacred. And it's authentic. It's pure. There's nothing kept away from its expression. So there's much more deep study to be done on this. But so moving along, we've got water. So you can use water in very sacred ways too. So if those of you who take a sacred bath, or if you don't have access to a bathtub, maybe you just take a nice long shower. Perhaps you have a creek that you like, and you go take off your shoes and socks and you put your feet in the water. Maybe you're just going to wash your hands. So you're letting the water roll over your hands and feeling it. Water is tied to the emotions. So especially when you got an emotion like grief that you need to move, water can be a very powerful element for you in being able to move that grief. So you're feeling the grief and you're letting the water with its gentle flowing rhythm and frequency. It's a very mothering type of energy. You can let it take it, just like tears that flow from you, right? So if you're in grief, feel it. Let yourself be fully immersed. Have that element that matches in mind and in heart and embodied into yourself. When you can find a way to anchor yourself with that, you'll find it easier to transform all of these energies. And at least if you're doing nothing else but moving them out of you, at least they're not sitting inside of you, creating problems, right? Creating worry and anxiety and despair and grief and whatever. Attachments to something because of fear, right? Something, oh, this happened to me. What if it happens again? It could just be repetitive, right? If you're dealing with even physical problems, the earth is certainly a wonderful earth and earth and air together, something wonderful that you can get to where you're combining these elements to work with them together, right? And going into metal and wood, they're different systems that require a little of a different understanding. And really, you don't need more, especially not to get started. In fact, all it takes is one, just one. It takes one, your consciousness, intention, awareness, your focus, and your breath, and your gratitude, which is love. Gratitude is a form of love in many ways. This allows you to move into a space where you can be more in the sacred and be more in your creativity, which is a pathway to all of the magical workings in life. It allows you to have clarity so you can be on your path of enthusiasm and joy for life, right? These are like gateways, like vortexes, if you will, portals to transformation. And so I urge you to start with these basics. And if you have questions, certainly you're welcome to come. We have Sunday services once a month, and I don't have the one on the books yet for May because it is Mother's Day and because we are having our masterclass on the 19th. So if it's something that really interests you, I really suggest you look into enrolling in that. Yeah, I think the doors close on the 16th, so you've got some time to really decide if it's this is a path that you think you might be interested in. And certainly for your own personal healing and transformation, whatever it is that you're going through with this Uranus conjunct Jupiter business right now today, and for the last few weeks and for the coming weeks, and the eclipses that we just had, if you're feeling some big heavy energies and you're feeling weighed down by them at all, or maybe you have been able to move some of them, but you're just kind of like, I don't know where to directionalize this energy. I don't know where to take it and focus it. I don't know, I have questions, and it's like that. Layers of an onion peel. Layers of an onion, rather, peeling an onion, right? There's more every time you get a layer. So if you're finding yourself in that space of needing guidance, mentorship, direction, right? Maybe education, of course, because that's part of this process, then I urge you to come out to a SoulFire Shaman Talks. Those are our free services, and we have those about once a month. We just had one last Sunday. It was great. So, we end up talking about these all of these things, and inevitably, I channel, for lack of a better term, inspirational messages that come through. Sometimes I'll even take a look at your own personal chart and see what's happening for you. So certainly there's pathways and gateways to get to all of this. If you're really interested, the first step I would say, sign up for the newsletter. You can find that at soulfiremultiversity.com. We just haven't changed SEO can get lost, so we haven't done that yet. Working on it though. So yeah, the ministry is going to be opening. SoulFire Alchemy Academy launches August 29th. So we'll be having our first classes then. However, to get into any of the classes that we're doing with Elven Mystery School, jamesburgess.com, you can find that there, and his YouTube channel, which is Sabian Alchemy. But certainly in my coursework, we're going to be doing world religions, talking about sacred numerology. Professor Deborah McDermott has agreed to come on board. She's also our celebrant, so we are offering wedding ceremonies and union ceremonies. Super excited about that as well, to our local community. So if you're in the Knoxville and surrounding areas and you're a wedding vendor, or you like to work around weddings or do something for couples, please reach out. We're building our vendor list right now. So yeah, we're working on that. And we're also building out all of the curriculums that include Walking the SoulFire Journey, which you've heard me talk about for years and that I've been doing. It's the path to shamanism and learning the medicine wheel, understanding shamanic astrology, the SoulFire holographic wheel of life, understanding how to do the shamanic guided journey, soul retrieval, wound extraction, how to do the energy medicine with another person, understanding the directions, right? Southwest, northeast, earth and sky, the prayers and the rituals that we do for that and why we do them. And it's to one end in reality. Yes, it's to create personal healing. But one of the things that we want to do is we want to not be afraid of death and learn how to die consciously one day when it's our time. We don't want to go without having finished up some business and feeling pretty good. It's a good day when that day comes. And that's a heavy subject for a lot of people, and I realize that. But unless we are in a state of wisdom enough to be able to really have a concept of the death and dying process and to realize it's part of a life. This is the shaman's path. This is the way. It's the journey. Is to understand that that's not the ultimate thing to fear. Now, I can say that with confidence because I've had a near-death experience, but you might not be so, I could say lucky. Boy, that took a lot to get here. But you can be on a path of learning how to help others go through it, help yourself go through it. And we're talking about the mini death of the West, which is just letting go of the ways, the belief systems, the ways of being, the fear, the lack, the limitation, the scarcity, feeling unworthiness, not understanding how to love yourself. Those are all things that are not good for you. You got to let those go. Facing fears, facing traumas, but understanding there's gold, diamonds to be harvested, right? Gems of beauty and grace to be embodied because they are your robe. I call you a luminous being of light for a reason, after all. So, having said that, happy Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus day. And I hope the best for you and that this brings about some amazing expansion and spirituality and higher learning and education opportunities to your life that you never thought you'd see coming. Yes, and whatever it means for you. And if you'd like to learn more about that, you want to get in touch with me, you want to try to work with me one-on-one, I urge you to do so. Again, you can find me at soulfiremultiversity.com. You can check out more about the ministry at soulfireministries.net. And the academy is also on the website. So you'll be able to see more about that. Now, we don't have all of the details published yet, but that's why I say get on the newsletter. And that way you'll know all about the announcements coming forward and exactly what classes we're going to be having when to get started. All right. So if things like energy medicine and shamanism, sacred numerology, hypnotherapy, right? And neurolinguistics programming, past and future life regression, alternate life regression, understanding time and space, the Elven star mysteries, Sabian symbols. Some of these are studies into themselves, so you might not even know yet that you're interested in them. But certainly, if you're somebody who seeks for knowledge and truth, and you're somebody who is a spiritual seeker, then this would be the path for you, and certainly a path for you. So I welcome you to come and check it out. And if you have any questions at all, you can reach me by email. Would be great. info@soulfireministries.net. Until next time, I will see you on the flip side.